Christian Caceres could be on for the hat-trick. Takes it down, gets the shot away, and gets the rebound. A hat-trick in 6 minutes for Christian Caceres. Welcome back to another episode of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC 24. I haven't uploaded to the series in a few days, and that's mainly because I've been finalizing version 3 of my slider set. The video is available now, so go check that out if you haven't already. Version 3 fixes a bunch of the things that the recent title updates broke. We will be using those sliders in this episode. We've had a rough couple of months here in the series, only managing to take 6 points from all of our fixtures here in the new year in 2029. And in the last 2 episodes, we've only managed to take 2 points from those fixtures, drawing with Leicester in the previous episode. Christian Caceres it was, getting on the score sheet again. He is in rare goal scoring form at the moment, having scored 3 goals in recent fixtures. However, we did lose the Tyneside derby versus Newcastle, and we were beaten 4-3 by Manchester United at Old Trafford. And that has left us sitting in 16th place in the Premier League, close to the relegation zone in terms of places, but not so much in terms of points. We are 12 points clear of Crystal Palace, who occupy that final spot in the drop zone. And we will continue our strategy here today of trying to take points from the teams that are around us in the table. So we will take on Crystal Palace in our featured game first of all here in this episode. But we will have 2 other fixtures to get to, and those will be games that we will quick sim versus Aston Villa away at Villa Park, and then we will host Chelsea at Stamford Bridge to close out March. This is the way that we'll line up for the game. Denzel Dumfries returns to the side despite a strong showing from Sacha Bowie in the previous fixture, and Josh Sargent continues up front despite having a very poor season thus far. Patrick Pfeiffer has the armband today in Jesse Cartwright's absence. However, the medical team have cleared Jesse Cartwright to return to training, so we will see a return from our young captain fairly shortly. And this is the way that Crystal Palace will line up. A fairly mixed bag of aging talent like Rob Holding and Riedewald in midfield, as well as an injection of young talent brought in from other clubs like Tanganga from Tottenham and Thiago Thomas up front. Alex Lowry, of course, on the bench for Crystal Palace today, alongside both Edouard and Mateta, who continue to remain at the club. Michael Elise starts on the bench, which is probably something of a relief for Hans Newman. But without further ado, let's head down to Redmont Arena and join the commentary team for this game. So we are in the commentary booth for this one at Redmont Arena, a bottom of the table clash between Redmont Rangers and Crystal Palace. But an important clash nonetheless. Might be bottom of the table, but that doesn't mean there isn't anything riding on the game. We are very much looking for 3 points, as I think that would really all but secure our safety this season, as Max Webber intervenes well there. Denzel Dumfries chips it in towards Josh Sargent. It looked like it might drop for him for a moment there. So a lot to play for us. Looking to secure our place in the Premier League next season, but Crystal Palace very much doing the same. They are currently in 18th place and on course to be relegated to the Championship. Christian Caceres, Josh Sargent stepping on his toes. There's Ismail Assar. Haraldson in so much space at the back post, but the ball can't fall for him. And Crystal Palace will get an opportunity to clear. Haraldson trying to prevent them from doing so, and he does prevent them from doing so. Cuts inside onto his right foot. Can he get a shot off? Yes, he can, but it's parried away by the goalkeeper and then eventually collected. So a bright start for Redmont Rangers here and a nervy start for Crystal Palace, as the referee bails Palace out there. He does pull it back for a yellow card from earlier in the passage of play, but it's a soft free kick that gets Palace out of a bit of trouble. So Palace due to make the drop down to the Championship this season, so they should very much be a motivated side. They need 3 points here, far more than we do. As James McAtee this time stealing it away. Josh Sargent plays him in. James McAtee strikes, and there's nothing the goalkeeper can do about that. And immediately we take the lead here at Redmont Arena. James McAtee it was, stealing the ball away initially. Josh Sargent played him in, and then it was a powerful strike to the near post that the goalkeeper couldn't manage to get his hands to. Couldn't manage to find the ball in the air, the keeper, much less get his hands to it. And it's a very, very good start. And 7 minutes into the game, it is a goal for Redmont Rangers, scored by number 8, James McAtee. And we are on course for 3 points here. Still a long way to go in the game. Still a lot of football yet to be played. But it's the start that we were looking for. Very much the start that Crystal Palace will not have wanted to have got off to. We are continuing with the 4-3-3 formation here against Crystal Palace. It's been working out well for us in recent games. We have looked far more of a threat going forward. Our midfield really has become the engine room for our team. Oh, and that's poor from James McAtee. Delayed far too long to release the ball to Ismail Assar. It's really been our defensive line that we've built this team around previously. Going with a back five. But with the three in midfield, that is really where a lot of the action happens now in this new system. It's a system that has freed Christian Caceres, who we have seen score a number of goals in recent episodes. It's really unlocked a new attacking freedom for Caceres as Josh Sargent steals the ball away. Crystal Palace cannot stop gifting us possession, and Ismail Assar's in some space on the right hand side. Josh Sargent in the box, still looking to break his duck. He has scored 4 goals this season, but a lot of them have come, or a lot of them came rather, in the first few fixtures of the season. He's not scored for I don't know how many games. I could go back and work it out, but to be honest, it would probably depress me a little bit too much. It's been a long drought that Josh Sargent has experienced here. Good run from Ismail Assar, but he's offside. James McAtee splitting the Crystal Palace defenders in two, and it's just the shoulder and the knee of Ismail Assar that's broken the line there. So Josh Sargent looking to get back on the score sheet today and to hopefully kickstart a run of form as we approach the final stretch of the season here. We do have 11 games left to play currently, and it will soon be 10 as we draw to a close in this one. Oh, Ismail Assar almost stealing the ball away. So we, I think, certainly will be looking to add a striker in the summer. Not just because of Josh Sargent's poor run of form here at the end of the season, or really not even just at the end, but over the second half of the season, and maybe even a little more than that. But it is a position that we need more depth, but also a challenge for Josh Sargent. He is, I believe, 29 years of age, so approaching his 30s. He's not going to be a player that we can rely on week in and week out for too much longer. Good intervention from Patrick Pfeiffer. Alexander Bobek will look for Ismail Assar, and he will find him. Denzel Dumfries just going to clip it down the line. Wasn't too much more he could do there. Did well just to keep the ball in play. But Crystal Palace attack down the left-hand side. Denzel Dumfries back to defend. Along now with Ismail Assar, and I think we're just going to have to try and clear here. Although Ismail Assar twists and turns away. Does manage to find Denzel Dumfries and then eventually Caleb Taylor, so it's actually well worked from Redmont Rangers to get out of trouble there. But we are going to need a challenge for Josh Sargent up front. We need somebody who can not only come in and take over when he is experiencing poor runs of form like he is currently, but who can look to take that job from him permanently. Somebody younger, somebody with more of a future at Redmont Rangers. It's not as if I'm looking to get rid of Josh Sargent at any point soon, but as a player approaches their 30s, you do have to really start thinking about a contingency plan. What's going to happen next? What's the future of the position? And right now, we really don't have a future. Good battling away there from Max Weber, and Josh Sargent climbs to win the header superbly. All we have at the moment up front beyond Josh Sargent is Dane Scarlett, who is a championship player, let's be honest. Only a 74 overall, I believe. And we have Samson Tavide, who hasn't developed quite as well as we would have liked. And we are allowing him to walk at the end of this season, so he will be moving on to new pastures. I wouldn't be surprised if Hans Newman let Dane Scarlett go one way or another as well. His contract is not running out, but he could well be sold. He may even be released. So we are going to need at least one more striking option in terms of the first team. And then an option or two, I would say, in the coffers, really planning for the future. You don't have too much in terms of attacking options in the youth academy, so we're going to have to look elsewhere on the open market. Game has slowed down a little for Redmont Rangers here, the last 15-20 minutes or so, and it's Crystal Palace who look to be on the front foot at the moment. About 10 minutes to go until half-time, so we will make a bit of a push in these last 10 minutes and try and double our lead before half-time. Going into the break with a 2-goal lead would obviously be better than a 1-goal lead. It would, for all those mathematicians out there, be twice as good as a 1-goal lead. So, oh no, what's Caleb Taylor done? Crystal Palace rattle the post. Caleb Taylor just let that ball run across him, and he could not afford to do that because there was a Crystal Palace man lurking. It was the Crystal Palace man who ended up with the ball at his feet. Alexander Bobek was beaten by the shot, but it comes crashing back off the post. And it was almost Crystal Palace who scored just before the break. Very, very poor from Caleb Taylor there. Far too complacent, lackadaisical almost in defence. But Bali Mumba is away on this left-hand side. Christian Caceres is inside. Ismail Assar on the right-hand side, but Christian Caceres can't find him. It opened up for a little bit there for Christian Caceres. Potentially he could have taken the shot on himself, especially given the rich vein of form he is in terms of scoring goals. Chose to play it over towards Ismail Assar instead, but too many Crystal Palace players in the area. Bali Mumba again is away on this left-hand side though. Can't find Josh Sargent. It's been poor. We had a really good start to the game, but it's been poor for the remainder of this first half. Going forward anyway, it's been, apart from that Caleb Taylor gaff, a good defensive performance from Rangers so far. Christian Caceres once more. Bali Mumba with the run up ahead. And again, we give the ball back to Crystal Palace far too easily. Far too easily. Christian Caceres the guilty party this time. And Crystal Palace can't make it past Max Weber. And they've committed bodies forward. Josh Sargent with a run in behind. Harrelson doesn't get enough on it. We've had opportunities to get into Crystal Palace's final third, and we've just not taken them. Harrelson will try again. Does find Josh Sargent this time. There's Christian Caceres. And now Denzel Dumfries on the right. It's a heavy touch, but does maintain possession. Lofts it into the box towards Josh Sargent, who doesn't manage to win the header. And it is going to be a 1-goal lead at half-time for Redmont Rangers. A very bright start to the game, but it did peter out after that. And so we're going to look to get back on the front foot after the break. and try and extend that 1-goal lead. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory Career Mode. If you're enjoying the video, please take a second to leave a like and subscribe if you're new. There's going to be plenty more realistic content like this to come in 2024, and every little bit of engagement helps to grow the channel and bring these videos to more and more viewers. Drop a comment too, let me know what you thought of today's game, who our man of the match was, or really just any feedback you have about the series. I always love to hear from you guys, and I've got some great ideas about how to get you more involved going forward. But that's enough rambling from me. Let's get back to the action. So back out for the second half here at Redmont Arena. The fans in the stands very much looking for an improved performance here in the second half. We need to take what we did in the first 10 minutes of the game and extend that over the next 45. James McAtee trying to do exactly that. Here's Haraldson. Cuts inside onto his right foot. Can he get a shot away? It's good defending by Crystal Palace, forcing Haraldson out wide. And it's a good challenge to put it out for a corner as well. Crystal Palace making an early change here in the second half, and it is going to be Michael Elise. We mentioned him before the break, something of a reprieve for us to see Michael Elise on the bench to start the game. But he is on the field now as Denzel Dumfries challenges for the header. Haraldson does well to win the ball back. And again, try and get into a space to cross. Does manage to get it off this time, but it is blocked by the Crystal Palace man. It's actually going to be, I believe, a free kick for handball rather than a corner. Doesn't make too much difference. We will just be putting the ball into the box either way here. But it is from slightly closer range and a slightly more favourable angle. So Haraldson will loft it up towards Josh Sargent. Ismail Assar lurking on the edge of the box, but can't find the ball. He does there. Loses out to Michael Elise, though. He is very much a player we're going to have to keep an eye on. Ismail Assar strikes towards goal. Goalkeeper prevents it from going out for a corner this time. Good start to the second half. This is what we saw at the beginning of the game, and this is what we wanted to do coming out for the second. Barley Mumba is beaten, though. And Patrick Pfeiffer is going to have to come across from centre-back to deal with the danger, and he does exactly that. Haraldson, we have players over on the right-hand side. It's a loose pass, though, just lofted up into the air. An equally poor pass from Crystal Palace. Lets Denzel Dumfries back in, but he eventually loses out to Michael Elise. And Crystal Palace inside the Redmont box. We do manage to block the shot. Caleb Taylor doing so for a second time. And then Denzel Dumfries with the intervention. And again, it's very good defending. Ismail Assar with the ball at his feet. And we can work the ball clear. Very, very good defending there again from Redmont Rangers. Here's Haraldson. There's Max Webber in a bit of space, as is Ismail Assar on this right-hand side. Just prevents the ball from going out by finding Denzel Dumfries. Max Webber once more, and there's Josh Sargent. Nice little run from Christian Caceres, and a lovely pass from Josh Sargent, and the lead is doubled by who other than Christian Caceres. We've mentioned it numerous times today, a rich vein of goal-scoring form for Christian Caceres. Quite the opposite for Josh Sargent, but he does get an assist there. A lovely little chipped ball through to Christian Caceres, who've made an excellent run. And it's a left-footed finish this time. We've seen him score with his head in recent episodes. We've seen him score with his right foot. It's now the left foot for Christian Caceres. And 56 minutes into the game, it is a goal for Redmont Rangers, scored by number 14, Christian Caceres. And our lead is doubled. That's exactly what we wanted here in the second half. Another positive start. We don't want to take our foot off the gas as we did in that first half, though. Josh Sargent is making the good run this time. Christian Caceres again in the box, and he scores again. 2 goals in 2 minutes. 2 assists in 2 minutes for Josh Sargent. And he really cannot stop scoring. I've been saying it a little tongue-in-cheek, but Christian Caceres, he seems to be cropping up with a goal in pretty much every episode, and he's got 2 here. Another good finish with the left foot. This time in the opposite corner. A lovely touch with the outside of his left foot before he sets it and tucks it away in the corner. And it's 58 minutes into the game, and it is another goal for Redmont Rangers, scored again by number 14, Christian Caceres. So an hour into the game, and it is 3-0 Redmont Rangers. This is exactly the performance we've been looking for in recent episodes. And I think Hans Newman could have a chance to rotate the side slightly here in the final half an hour of the game. So we will be looking to make some substitutions before too long. James McAtee could be in here. Ismail Assar can't quite find him. Josh Sargent does find Ismail Assar though. And Christian Caceres could be on for the hat-trick. Takes it down, gets the shot away and gets the rebound. A hat-trick in 6 minutes for Christian Caceres. Unbelievable. Almost found initially. The ball cut out. Balls to Josh Sargent. And it's actually Ismail Assar with the assist. I was going to say 3 assists for Sargent and 3 goals for Caceres, but it's actually Ismail Assar with the assist this time. But it is 3 goals for Christian Caceres. An unbelievable 6 minutes for the centre midfielder. And he literally cannot stop scoring. Not just in recent episodes, but in the game. An hour in, it is a goal scored for Redmont Rangers, yet again by number 14, Christian Caceres. So we will make a couple of changes here. Haraldson and McAtee coming off. Alex Lewis and Matthew Garbutt coming on. But it's a 4-goal lead for Redmont Rangers. Is going to be 3 points in the bag. It's going to be a nice chunky addition to our goal difference as well. That shouldn't matter at any point. It might be the difference between finishing, you know, 15th and 14th, something like that. But is that second yellow? It is a second yellow. It was a poor challenge. I thought it might be a yellow. I didn't realise it was for the same man. But Crystal Palace's day goes from bad to worse. They've conceded 4 goals. They're down to 10 men. And it's been a disastrous trip up to the northeast for the Eagles. But it has been a fantastic day out for the Redmont Rangers fans who continue to pack the stadium. It's not been the most pleasant of seasons at all times for the Redmont Rangers fans, and this is lovely football. They're really seeing their team turn it on here. It's been a little bit inconsistent, the football. It's not always been particularly attractive to watch. It hasn't always been good results, but we do seem to be turning a leaf here as we approach the home stretch of the season. Matthew Garbutt, there's Alex Lewis. Can Josh Sargent get on the score sheet? That would be the final cherry on top, to be honest, today. A goal for Josh Sargent would make it pretty much a perfect day. I mean, it's gone pretty well so far, but a goal for Josh Sargent would just send it over the top. He is our star man. He is our best striker. As we said, he is pretty much our only striker. And Dumfries is going to continue to look for him here. I think Sargent has strayed into an offside position. Garbutt takes it down on his chest and strikes. And it's an excellent effort from Matthew Garbutt. But a good save from the goalkeeper. A standing ovation for Christian Caceres as he picks the ball up and places it in the corner spot. An incredible performance from the centre midfielder today. I cannot get over it. A hat-trick in 6 minutes. Ismail Assar lofts it up towards the back post. His header looping into the air, but Denzel Dumfries couldn't get on the rebound. It's a good challenge for Bailey Mumba. The assistant thinks he used his hand, but the referee waves play on as Crystal Palace do have the advantage, but it's another excellent tackle by Patrick Pfeiffer. And Ismail Assar will come away on this left-hand side. There's Christian Caceres again. And space on the right-hand side for Alex Lewis. Josh Sargent just needed to come short for that one, but he tried to peel off his man and run in behind. Wasn't the right approach for that particular situation. And Crystal Palace persisting here down the left-hand side. But there's very little left to play for them here today, really. Michael Elise has been fairly quiet since coming on as well. He's looked relatively sharp. He's looked more dangerous than any other player in a Crystal Palace shirt. But he certainly hasn't done enough to make any real difference in the game. Here's Christian Caceres, Max Weber, Matthew Garbutt in a good position, but so is the Crystal Palace defender. Max Weber also had a very good game here today. He's really been one of the main reasons that we have defended so well. He's really provided a lot of support to that back line sitting just in front of them. And it is going to be another standing ovation for Christian Caceres here as he leaves the field. Replaced by Afonso Mendes. Max Weber really has been the reason that we haven't managed to get a good look at Afonso Mendes as well. We brought him in on loan just to see what he could offer and see if we might want to bring him in permanently in the summer. But Max Weber's form has really improved the last handful of games as well. And so we haven't really needed to bring him out. We haven't really wanted to bring him out and replace him with Afonso Mendes at any point. So we'll try and get a better look at Mendes over the course of the next couple of games, particularly if we do continue to look as if we are certainly going to be a Premier League side next season. That will give us an opportunity to play a couple of players like Afonso Mendes, like maybe even Kenji Yamada, Arthur Armstrong. Give our youngsters a bit of a run out and just take stock of players that we definitely want to keep a hold of going into next season, and players who we might be looking to move on from. Shot from Michael Elise is blocked by Patrick Pfeiffer and out for a Crystal Palace corner. But as we said, very little for Crystal Palace to play for now. Alex Lewis just clears. Could have done so with his foot, but chose to do so with his head. And Mendes can't stop the cross. Crystal Palace cut inside. Wiley Mumba there to try and do the same. Michael Elise has the ball at his feet though. And he does find a Crystal Palace man. Barley Mumba eventually able to clear. And Josh Sargent continues to work hard up front. That is one thing that Josh Sargent certainly has managed to do in recent games. He hasn't managed to score, but he does continue to work hard. That's something that really goes without saying for Josh Sargent. Ball over the top from Alex Lewis for Sargent to chase. He can't get there, but he does force a Crystal Palace defender to put the ball out of play, which is going to give Hans Newman the chance to make one final substitution here. It is going to be Josh Sargent. He leaves the field yet again without a goal, but has certainly had his influence in this game. 2 assists and has been the spearhead of our attack. Dumfries finds Scarlett, who lays it off to Alex Lewis. Shot is blocked. Bit of an anticlimax there, but looked dangerous for a moment. Denzel Dumfries with the attempted tackle. And the referee waves Crystal Palace on as again they have the advantage. Edge of the box here for Crystal Palace. Max Weber is there to defend. Can't get a foot in. Neither can Caleb Taylor. Eventually he can. And the referee blows his whistle. I'm not sure how that's a free kick. But Scott is lining up to take it on the very edge of the box. It's a dangerous, dangerous area here. Thankfully, we are 4 goals up. And there are about 2 minutes left in the game. So nothing too much to worry about. But Crystal Palace could well get a consolation goal here. And they're going to bring across another taker And it is blocked by the wall. So a fairly tame effort in the end. As Matthew Garbutt comes away with it on this left-hand side. He'll just give it back to Patrick Pfeiffer, Barley Mumba, Caleb Taylor, Denzel Dumfries, who's had a good game today as well. It's been solid defensively. Dumfries coming in for Sasha Bowie. And 6 minutes of added time. Half of those have elapsed already. But it's a surprising amount of time to be added on as Caleb Taylor gives the ball away. I can't really remember there being quite that many stoppages. And Scarlett is in the box, and he could make it 5 here to finish the game. The shot saved by the Crystal Palace goalkeeper though, and he is up quickly to collect the second. Ismail Assar, Matthew Garbutt. Good tackle by the Crystal Palace defender. Matthew Garbutt shaping to shoot there. First time from the edge of the box. Never got the chance to do so. And the referee's final whistle does go, and it is a more than comfortable victory here at Redmont Arena for the home team. A dominant performance in that second half. That's exactly what we wanted from the team. A really good start in the first 10 minutes of the game. Saw us take the lead early, but we were sleepwalking a little bit towards half-time. Certainly didn't do that in the second. Crystal Palace lost a man. Christian Caceres had an incredible 6 minutes. And it does end up being a 4-0 victory for Redmont Rangers here versus Crystal Palace. And we had 3 more all-important points to the board. So a fantastic performance at home versus Crystal Palace, but I don't think we're going to see quite the result again here against Aston Villa. They have a much stronger team featuring the likes of Emi Martinez, Ibrahima Konate, Moussa Diaby, and they have Jovic up front alongside Evan Nielsen. Whereas we are rotating our 11 slightly. Arthur Armstrong coming into the back 4 alongside Sasha Bowie. Alfonso Mendes coming into midfield as well. And then Alex Lewis will get the start today ahead of Ismail Assar. Brendan Clark is also on the bench. And we do manage to come away with a point. Who else but Christian Caceres rescuing the game for us late on. A minute after Evan Nielsen scored his goal to put Aston Villa 2-1 up. Denzel Dumfries scored in the second half for us as well after Jovic opened the scoring on the 22nd minute. Which brings us to our third and final game of the episode versus Chelsea. A strong run of form sees them not having lost a game in the last 5. They have only won 2 games though. Upamecano and Reece James in the back 4 for them. Enzo Fernandez alongside Danny Olmo in midfield. And then the youngster Dieng starts up front for Chelsea today. Whereas we are reverting back to our 5-2-3 formation. And the biggest news is that Jesse Cartwright is returning back into that back 5, taking his place alongside Patrick Pfeiffer and Caleb Taylor in the centre of that defence. Matthew Garbutt comes into midfield, and Ismail Assar returns alongside Josh Sargent and Haraldson up front. And although Josh Sargent does finally break his goal scoring drought, getting on the score sheet late in the game, 2 goals from Carlson for Chelsea had already put the game too far beyond reach to get a result, and we do end up losing. But despite the defeat, we do end up climbing a couple of places in the table, up to 14th position, 32 points from our 30 games so far. So with 8 games left to go in the season, we are looking relatively comfortable, 9 points clear of the drop zone, and a chance to make that 10 or even 12 points in the next episode with 3 fixtures to get to. We're going to travel to Molineux to take on Wolves away from home. We are also going to be going down to the Amex to play Brighton. And then we have a game against West Ham at Redmont Arena to get to as well. So we will look forward to those in the next episode. I hope to see you there. Take it easy.